Hi, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Kendra Morgan Official, and today I have for you guys a review on Colourpop's Stone Cold Fox eyeshadow palette. This is a 30 pan eyeshadow palette that retails for $34 on the Colourpop website. It has 30 shades that are 1.1 gram a piece, giving it 33 grams total. In addition to the Stone Cold Fox palette, I also picked up the brushes as well, the Stone Cold brush set. I do use the brushes in the tutorial, but I will have a separate review on just the brush set in a later video. So before I get any further, let's go ahead and get into this tutorial. Whew. All right, we've got the palette here. Let's use Enigma to start with the E22 Colourpop brush. I'm so sorry, guys. Would be my laptop. I normally don't have it on, except for I don't have an adapter yet for my ring light over here, so I'm just using my laptop, so I have to keep it on. And I'm getting notifications. That's so awesome. All right, now that we have that done, let's jump into a more precise color. This one right here. And I'm probably gonna dip between those two. So I'll start off with the You Rock shade, blending it upward, and then on the inner corner as well with the E23. You guys may have already seen reviews of this, but there is a sufficient amount of kickback in the pan. Doesn't bother me, but it can be an indicator you could get fallout. Run it along my lower lash line as well. All right, it's looking, not the thought of sounding redundant, really cool toned. Let's add some of this rumor mill to the inner and outer and place it just a little bit tighter in those crevices. I think I'm just gonna do one eye on camera and then I'll do the other eye off camera from here on out, just because I want to make sure that I have enough time to blend for you guys and all that jazz. Kind of keep it low and tight right in here. With the E25, I'll add two of the shimmers, so I wanted to do that one and that one, but I think this one's going to go in the very center and this one is going to go in the outer portion. None of these shimmers are, ooh, wow, that looks really good. None of these shimmers are really blinding except for maybe the Magnetic Moon one, which is this one right here. They're all very, almost a satin, like a hybrid satin. Okay, around the edge, oops, I'm going to use this color that I just drug my finger through. New brush, the E26. This is horrible, sorry guys. Okay, so Magnetic Moon now, dip into that. I'll probably end up and see if I can just tap a little bit of that. Now that we've got that all tidied up, the E28, it's a little bullet brush, but it's still a bit of a blender. Dip into, I don't know if I want to do the rock bottom or if I want to do this one. Let's try this one first, see if we can kind of brown it out a little bit. Start here on the lash line, just work it over. So I'm going in with Drama Mama on the inner and outer corner. For the brow bone and the inner corner, this stark white shade, I forget what it's called, Dreamful, add that. Add that with the E29. Not too bad, not too bad. I don't know, I'm liking it. It's looking, I mean, it's obviously cool toned. So now back out to that blending brush again, grabbing a little Let's do Trip this time. It's a little bit more on the neutral side. Take that and just blend it up and around this. These blend super fast. I mean, I just barely had to, it's almost like I feel kind of guilty. I just laid the colors down and they just built themselves. So I think I want to add just a smidge of the Drama Mama, which is that dark brown underneath the lash line. And then back with my blender brush and Enigma, which is a little more on the cool toned side, and blend it out just a bit. And up and around as well, just kind of keeping it a little bit closer to the crease than the brow bone. With that, it's a little bit darker than the Trip shade. All right, guys, so I'm gonna go ahead, pop off, do the other eye off camera, and get some soft lashes on, and we will be back with the completed look. All right, and this is the completed look, guys. I really like how it turned out. It's very icy. It is definitely a cool tone lover's palette. If you haven't already picked up this palette, I highly recommend it. The shadows are not what I would describe as buttery. However, they are extremely pigmented and they don't take very much to blend. So if I had to rate these shadows against my singles, it's probably somewhere around a Makeup Geek consistency of shadows. I noticed that the shimmers and the satins are more bridal looking. They aren't very flashy. They're not very in your face and extremely noticeable. So I did also pick up the Bare Necessities palette. Both palettes contain neutral brown matte shadows that help you to create a nice matte crease or transition. For this eyeshadow palette, I would say that there are more neutral to warm tones, and then also the amount of shimmers in this palette are also warm toned. For this palette, you have some neutral browns that are great transition shades, just like you get in the Bare Necessities palette. However, the accessories or the accentuating features, such as like the shimmers on my lid, are going to be the cooler tones. So if you like the Bare Necessities palette and you like warmer toned shadows, that would be my option. That would be my suggestion. You don't need both palettes. Hopefully that helps you navigate the waters in deciding which palettes to choose from if you only have budget for one. I will say that they do put, Colourpop on their website has a Bare Necessities and Stone Cold Fox bundle, and you get both palettes for $48, 60 shadows for under $30 basically. So I think that's really great. I do want to just go ahead and grab a couple of the more standout shades and just swatch them on my arm really quickly. For 30 pan shadows, I think people just are interested in some of the more standalone shadows. I saw this row right in here being extremely controversial on Instagram, so let's go ahead and grab this shade. Let's grab Magnetic Moon, Rumor Mill, Sediment to Be. Let's do Obsidian. I saw some people trending towards that in tutorials, so I thought I would do that. Great. So there's a few shadows swatched on my arm for you. I think that the, Magnetic Moon is an extremely vibrant shade, but that is the only one that is extremely pigmented and very standout. Why is my hair doing this? The rest of them are going to give you a very, what I would call a bridal finish, or a very soft, subtle, almost just a step up above a satin finish. They're really calm and mild, so they're easy to blend on the eyes, and they don't give you a lot of fallout for that reason. You know what? Let's bust a nail off. That's always good. I want to swatch a few of these shadows in here that have some, they're not mattes, but they're not exactly satin or shimmers. They are just I don't know how they describe them, but let's do the ones that have little flecks of mica in them, and you guys can see how those swatch on the arm as well. So Play It Coal, Truffles is another one. It's a matte, but it has that mica shimmer. And then for Granite, oh, and Dreamful up here. And a little bit right there. So you can see that they look really, really nice. This one right here, I think I just didn't swatch it very good. Maybe have to build that one up just a little bit. They do look like they perform more like a matte, and I barely see any glitter. So I would imagine you could just treat these as a matte, maybe just a little lower in the crease, not quite so much out in the transition area. And then this being like a brow bone highlight or an inner corner highlight would be very beautiful. If you're an all matte kind of girl on the brow bone because you don't tidy up your eyebrows like the rest of the world, then you might just go ahead and use Luxe, and then for the inner corner you can go ahead and use that stark white Dreamful that has the mica flecks in it. I highly recommend this palette if you are somebody that doesn't own a lot of shadows already currently and you need a good neutrals palette. Okay guys, that is it for this video. Thank you so much for joining me. If you haven't already, subscribe below for content like this in the future. And guys, I can't wait to see you in my next video. Bye!